Thanks. I'm going to start off today and just address a comment that I made after the game against Melbourne. It was a comment born out of a lot of frustration and passion. So it was probably the wrong time, or it was definitely the wrong time. Wasn't the view of the footy club. And as I said, a lot of frustration in that, given the second half that we delivered on the weekend. So our first half of footy was really solid against a top team, and our second half wasn't good enough. So what I said was inappropriate. I've apologised. I've put out a statement. I've spoken to the players and the club about that, and regretful. I'm sorry about that, but as I said, frustration really led to that. So we do want to play the best teams, and we've got another opportunity in a couple of weeks' time when we come up against Adelaide. And we walk away from that game, and what we did get is Soph Mack got to play on the best key forward in the competition in Zanka and did a really good job. We get B. Smith play on Kate Hoare, who's a dual All-Australian and a superstar of the competition. She gets to learn from that. And we get other players that come up to me post-game and said that they thought they were going all right until they played on a few of those Melbourne girls, and they realised that they've still got a long way to go in their footy careers and how they go about things. So we got some great learnings out of that game, as we will over the next 3 weeks. So we look forward to the challenge.
Mike, how did that discussion, I guess you issued the apology, the reasoning sort of behind that, was it the feedback from the girls, or was it the club saying to you, hey, listen, we think that that's been taken this way?
No, I think it's more my frustration and a lot of little things that led up to that, and I won't go into all of them, but in no way was it about our playing group and my belief in them. Absolutely not, and I explained that to them, and it can be misinterpreted that way, and that's probably what has happened. And I suppose when I got in front of the group and told them a little bit about the why and how it had nothing to do with them as individuals or a playing group or the way we're going at the moment, hopefully they understand that, and I think the majority of the group has, with some follow-up conversations that I've had with them.
Your frustration, it's very simplistic, I know, to break it kind of down to a win-loss sort of ratio, but I guess across five seasons as a club, you've totaled 7 wins. Is the AFLW program for the West Coast Eagles being taken seriously, or do you need more support?
Yeah, I think it is. I think internally, absolutely. The work that some of the individuals in our program are doing to make sure that we're delivering the best program we can for our players. We keep rallying the AFL at times around certain things, and that's the job of everyone involved in the program. So, and I think we're doing that really well, and we're providing a platform for our players to get better. Hopefully they're grabbing hold of those things and wanting to improve. But yeah, we're absolutely taking it seriously internally. Hasn't gone our way again this year. We know that. We fully understand that. We need to learn, and we need to get better as coaches, players, administrators, everyone involved in our program. But I can tell you that we're leaving no stone unturned in trying to do that, and we'll continue to do that until we do improve.
So you spoke about frustration. Where's the frustration coming from then as a coach?
I can go right into that, but I won't. I'll just say there's frustration there, and I'll leave it at that.
Michael, obviously you've apologised for your comments on the weekend, but there is a bit of, I guess, past form. There was the Pride comments last year. There was the comments about the umpiring in the game against Hawthorn last year. Do you feel like it's a lesson that you're still learning about, sort of controlling those emotions?
Well, I find that an interesting question in itself, to be honest. No, I think I apologise for the comments I said on the weekend. It's got nothing to do with anything that happened 12 months ago. Nothing at all.
And it seems as though we might need a bit of a bump in crowd numbers to trigger that 12-round season. Are you hopeful that will happen? Do you want to see more games?
Yeah, I think the way we want everyone to play everyone once. That's ultimately the goal, and I think we'll get there. It's just a matter of time and when we get there. But I think the trigger for get people to come in and watch. We do everything we can around activation around our games, and I think we do it really well, and most clubs do. They do it really well. So we just got to keep plugging away. We're only in our 8th season, so we're going to grow. Hopefully the numbers will tell us that after this year, that the number of people watching on TV and also turning up to games has increased. We still want that to increase, and I think the standard of the games is getting better, and the skills of the players is getting a lot better. So the actual product we're delivering for the fans to come and watch is growing every year that we play.
Michael, are you still confident that you're the right man to continue leading the club through the rebuild?
Yeah, I think so. I think, I know that, what I'm trying to do with the players, and I know how the players are feeling at the moment, and I believe that I can take the group forward.
Have you had any conversations with the club with, a couple of rounds left about your position and heading into next year?
Not at all.
Emma, you're the captain of this club. I assume you're feeling frustration as well. As a player, where specifically is it coming for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been here for 5 years, and as you said before, we haven't won too many games, so that's frustrating within itself. But I think it's pretty easy in the trenches to get frustrated at the win-loss, but I think taking a step back and looking at it holistically, like we've got a really young list, and while sometimes it's frustrating that we're not getting over the line, as I said, with the win-loss, take a step back and you come into the club, and the culture that we've been able to create and the togetherness and connectedness of the players, like, it makes me really proud, and I truly do believe that the light's at the end of the tunnel, and we'll keep working to get there.
Regardless of what happened on the weekend or what was said, do you think that the fixturing in the AFLW needs to be looked at?
Oh, it's hard. You've got 18 teams and you play 10 games, so I don't know what the right answer is. I'm sure there's people getting paid way more than me to work all that out and to have a look at what other competitions around the world are doing, and that's what the AFL has said that they've done, so I trust that they've done their research, and hopefully it can even out eventually when we play 17 games.
Do you believe that the girls are being accountable for fixing the issues that you guys have as a team, because there have been moments of really good play as well?
Yeah, I think probably the consistency that we show throughout the games ebbs and flows, and that's what's killing us at the moment from my point of view. And there's probably things that Mick can talk to more strategically and coach-wise what we're doing. But at the moment, as players, I think when we're playing our best footy, we actually look really, really good. It's just the ability to do that for 4 quarters, and I don't have the answer. I don't know if it's based purely on our age, and we've got young girls who come out one week, they're superstars, and the next week they're just not able to string the games together, and I don't know if that's a missing piece or not, but that's how it feels at the moment.
You had the opportunity to play against Melbourne, you've still got Adelaide to come. When you look at your team and Melbourne, where for you is sort of the games that need to be made?
Yeah, well, the growth is it's a little bit daunting when you look at it like that off the back of what we've just done over the weekend, but at half time we were 2 goals down, I think, held reigning premiers goalless in the second quarter. So, as I said, the consistency that we're playing at is just not helping us at the moment. So, if we came out in the third quarter, our pressure rating was up around the 2.2, 2.5. Would the game have looked different? Yeah, I probably think it would have. So, I think it's a consistency thing that's going to close the gap. And as I said, as our players get more experienced and older, I'm sure that'll come.
Mick, the way it's set up at the moment, given that there's sort of not the real equalisation measures kind of put into place with the national draft, and we've got the WA draft, is it realistic to think that the West Coast Eagles and the Fremantle Dockers, based on the state talent available, will be able to compete for a premiership?
I'm not fully across exactly the talent that's coming through over the next couple of years, but I think what we've got is a really young, exciting list, and I think we've set ourselves up, and we made a decision as a club a couple of seasons ago to really cut our list back, and we cut our list back by half, which any team in any competition throughout Australia or the world that cuts half of their squad and then starts a rebuild, it's going to take a little bit of time. But we think we've got some of the best young talent in WA playing on our list right now. So I did a bit of a study after we played Melbourne last year and just looked at how many games that individuals had played, how many 50-game players they had, their average age, average games, all that sort of stuff. And it was really stark between them and us. And we're still building towards that, and it's going to take a little bit of time for us. But can we contest? Absolutely we can. It's just going to take a bit of time to get games into these younger girls, they're 18, 19-year-olds. But the talent we've got is definitely there, and it's an exciting future.
Do you feel supported by the AFLW, and you probably can't speak for the Fremantle Dockers though, that there are equalisation measures put into place to make WA teams competitive? Yeah,
look, it's probably a question for powers to be here and the AFL, but what I do know is that the AFL will look at every club on their merits and decide what they should or shouldn't get. So, we can put submissions forward and see what comes of that. But I think they'll look at it fairly and they'll come up with the right solution.
just on this weekend, you beat the Bombers not long ago. It wasn't a pre-season game. Can you take much out of that?
Yeah, I think you can. I think, I've watched a bit of that yesterday about how we went about it, and we played some really good footy that day. So we should get a lot of confidence. I think they were pretty much full strength that day. We've played them before and we've done well. But what they've done since that game compared to what we've done since that game is completely different. They're sitting 5th on the ladder and we're 17th, I think we are. So, we had a lot of exciting things to look forward to because we know we can do it against them, but there's a lot of hard work to do as well, and they've improved.
What's impressed you about Essendon, given that they are such a new team to the comp as well?
Yeah, I think what Mick just said hits the nail on the head. What they've done since that practice match, we obviously rolled them here, and then watching a little bit of them, just the way that they're moving the ball, probably similar to us. They want to find the free and hit the 45s, and they've got a couple of superstars on their list who have really stood up. So I think Bonnie Toogood's having an amazing season, which has really helped them as their captain. So I'm looking forward to this weekend.
And Matty Prasakis, it was a bit of a shock for some when that ban was overturned last night. Did you have to change plans at all? Were you expecting to have to play?
No, I didn't even know that was happening. So the girls hit the group chat last night to say that it's been overturned, and actually we're all really excited to take them on full strength. And
you mentioned Bonnie Toogood. She's kind of the sort of player that you've had a few struggles with over the last few weeks with Bannon and Goldsworthy. That sort of mid small forward. How do you go about tackling her? Yeah, I think she gets up the ground pretty well, and she's getting a heap of the ball, and I think she's kicked 1 or 2 goals a game for the whole season. So I'm sure we'll have a match up for her if she comes into the mid, and our backs are pretty good on the attention to detail for the dangerous forward. So we'll have someone with her, I'm sure.
Emma, can you just talk us through your reaction to the fixture comments as a player, and then sort of whether that changed with the justification?
Yeah, obviously the way the post-game press conference happens, it happens once we've all gone home. So I won't lie, it was a bit of a shock for the playing group, I think, when we first heard the comments, and I think lucky for all of us, we were back in the club less than 24 hours later, and we were able to talk to Mick face to face and hear his own ownership and apology. And it's one of the things that I love so much about this footy club and the culture is that you take ownership over your mistakes, and we forgive each other and we move on. And that gets done at a player level, player to player, and it gets done from coaches as well. So we moved on pretty quickly.
So, Emily, the playing group still has confidence in Mick as coach?
Yeah, absolutely.
Michael, you've ruled Sarah Lackey out for the season. Can you talk to us about her situation? You're obviously quite keen to get her in for the Melbourne game.
Yeah, we wanted her to play. So we named her in our squad last week. Her results from her latest scan come back after we finished training last Friday. So we had to name her. She was in our squad. The results come back not in her favour. And the medical team has ruled her out for the rest of the year. So she'll be 6 weeks doing absolutely nothing, and then a 6-week build to getting up to some sort of fitness after that. So absolutely miss her, would have loved her to be in, and we were prepared to play her last week if things went well on the scan on limited game time and manage her through, but it just didn't turn out that way.
Did you get any standouts through draft combine? Did you take a look at some of the results and did it excite you?
Not across that at this point. I wasn't there. I was elsewhere, but yeah, I'm sure that our recruiters were there and they got all the information to make some great decisions. And
just Lauren Wackford, she must be a bit of a silver lining, some of the signs she's shown.
Yeah, she's been fantastic for us. We've asked her to obviously ruck, and she comes up against some superstars in the ruck, and I think we've both been able to help her with her ruck craft over the last month as well, and just how to deal with taller opponents and girls that can really jump. And so I think she's added another dimension in her ruck craft and how she goes about things. But what we love about her is not only can she take a mark around the ground, she can follow up really well at ground level. I think on the weekend she laid 4 tackles or something. So that sort of work for a bigger girl in the ruck is outstanding. We love what she's doing.